On a Bernina, such as the Bernina 480, I have the ability to set up my very own menu. So obviously, as the machine was made, they try to group stitches together. There's decorative stitches, there's alphabets, there's buttonholes, and don't forget you've got all your quilting stitches in the quilt menu. And there's lots. But you know what? Some of my favorite stitches are all over this machine. So I'm going to show you how you can build your own personal menu in the personal program or personal memory. And you notice there's a little heart down here. So this is where it's all going to happen, and it's also going to be where it's all going to hang out. So let's say you're working on a project that needs 3 stitches. 3 stitches from 3 different memory or areas, and you would like to have them practically line up 1, 2, 3, so you can go between the 3 stitches as you go through the project. So one of the things I often do is I will pick a straight stitch to put into my personal program that I can always have on my menu. So on a straight stitch, you can then also pick what that setting should be for that straight stitch. And sometimes when I need more than one setting, I'll save 2 different straight stitches, maybe a short one and a long one, maybe 2 different zigzags, one that's set for a really close together satin stitch that's really wide, and then one that's actually more petite or something for lighter weight thread. So let's show you how to set it up and then how to use it. So easy. So let's start off with that straight stitch. I've made how about a little longer straight stitch. I'm going to go over to the heart, and I want to add this to a memory. So see where the little folder is, like you're with the arrow going in. That means I'm going to put it in. It actually has 4 different sections. So I could have a group of stitches for project 1, a totally different group of stitches for project 2, and so forth. So let's put it in the first memory. So it just shows me that it is highlighted, and it says, is this the stitch you want to put in? And I'm going to say yes. All right, so 1 stitch is in there. Let's go back. Let's pick that zigzag, and I kind of already had it kind of close together and really wide. That will be very obvious. Let's add that stitch. Touch the heart, touch the folder like I'm putting it in the folder to save it. Let's put it in our first one and go ahead and choose it. Let's do that again, this time with a second zigzag that's very narrow and maybe a little bit more like a petite overlock stitch. Maybe I'm doing a little couching over a very small cord. And this is the perfect setting. Once again, touch the heart and add it to our folder number 1. All right, good. Let's pick a buttonhole just because we can. Let's pick the first one for fun and add that in. We're building it, and I'm going to add 1 more just random decorative stitch from a decorative stitch menu. How about number 701? Great stitch to use. Sometimes I make that a lot wider and even a lot closer together. Look how different that is, and we'll save it just like that. So now we have a total of 5 stitches somewhere in this machine. So let's say we go back. We've turned our machine on for today's project, and we know that those 5 stitches were saved somewhere. So let's go to the heart, and now we're going to retrieve them. So the folder with the arrow pointing up and out is going to give me those 4 different groupings. It's all in number 1. So they are showing in the reverse order that I put it in. So down here, the straight stitch was the first one I put in. Notice that it shows me width and length. So I see the length was at 3.1. This zigzag comes up really wide and really close together. This one was that little small one. There's my buttonhole, and then my decorative stitch. So I can just work from this menu as I go between each of the 5 stitches and allow myself to easily have the settings that I've saved as I go. Now, when you're ready, if you want to go ahead and delete these, let's say I'm done with one of those stitches and I really don't need it any longer. I can go to my heart, and that option for the trash can will be there. Which folder do I want to remove stitches from? How about that one? I no longer need my zigzag. Are you sure you want to get rid of your zigzag? Yes. And now I have the last 4 stitches. So I could easily even just delete each of these stitches as I'm going through, and that would clear out that project once I'm done. Of course, you can keep those and then just add, remember you've got different folders that you can put stitches in. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, save different stitches in each one.